Well, hello again, everybody. It's been a while since the last video, but life is what happens when you're making other plans, right? So here we are again. Today, I am pleased to be wearing my Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon hat, a hat which I have beaten completely into the ground, but is still a hat. So, hey, thought I'd put it on. And also, of course, my official Fats Grill live music hoodie from back in the day. Long live Fats Grill. Unfortunately, Fats Grill is now a hole in the ground, but a bunch of us had some great memories there. So we can cherish that. Today is really going to be an off-the-cuff kind of day and non-technical. I'm going to be talking about more of a philosophical thing. I think the philosophical issues of live sound and production do have a place in the discussion of the art. And so that's what we're looking at today. And the discussion is prompted by a quote that I had on a calendar of mine. It's a quote by Martina Navratilova, a Czech-American tennis player. She says, "The moment of victory is much too short to live for that and nothing else." And you might ask yourself, how does that relate to live music? Are we really talking about a moment of victory? This isn't a sporting event, is it? Well, no. But what it does mean, I think, is that, especially if you're new, if you're getting into this and you're thinking, maybe this looks like an interesting job, an interesting occupation, something to spend my time on. You have to get to this point where you just love the process. And that's the process, irrespective of whether or not you have a huge show or the music is incredible or something is happening to take your career necessarily to that next level right away. You have to love the process. This job is it's long hours. It's dirty. It can be frustrating. It can be infuriating. You can feel it. Now, if you're like me and you're lucky, you may feel that you get thanked a fair amount. If you're not as lucky as I am, then you might feel that it's a really thankless job. I've been pretty fortunate in my experience, actually. But the thing is that that's a lot of it. A lot of live sound is late nights and loading in and out in bad weather and adverse conditions, wrapping cable, moving stuff around and then going, oh, wait, that's not going to work. We need a different deployment, and moving it around again. And that's the bulk of it. That's actually what you're going to spend most of your time doing. Most of live sound is not glamorous. It's mostly a lot of hard work. But that's actually that's also the beauty of it. That's it, to create something that you've put together, partially with your own hands. It can be incredibly rewarding if you're open to that. Those incredible, sublime moments where it's all happening and you've got your hands on the faders and the knobs, or, if you're like me and you don't really care about the control surface, you have your hands on virtual faders and knobs. And when it's great and the band is firing on all cylinders and there's a ton of people in the room and it's just brilliant fun and you can feel your spine tingle, that does happen. But you're not going to spend most of your time having that happen. There's, like I said, there's a lot that comes before and after that. And so now, again, like, I'm just realizing how lucky and how fortunate I am. I'm just kind of naturally fascinated by how all this stuff comes together. I'm obsessed. And so, I don't really, I joke about things. I joke that if I said, if I had known that my whole career was going to be wrapping cable, I would have chosen a different career. But that's a joke. I mean, that's me being humorous. I just see it as, it's part of the job, and you just, you do it, and you kind of find a certain beauty in it. I'm just naturally that way, and that's something that I didn't choose. I didn't have to cultivate it. Like I said, I'm lucky. You might have to cultivate it, and I think it's important to cultivate it if you aren't naturally that way, but you still want to be in this business. Because if you don't cultivate it, then you stand a very good chance of becoming one of those audio engineers that people really dislike. That you have this attitude and you're always frustrated and angry and jaded. And by the way, if you're in that position, I can tell you that even for those of us who are naturally curious about all aspects of this business, that also, there are bad days, and that creeps in. But if that's your default attitude, then I would really encourage you to maybe take a step back and try to find the good part of, all the non-glamorous, all the dirty, all the difficult stuff. Because once again, I mean, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but that's most of the job. Most of the job isn't the pretty part. And that's okay. I think that it's possible to learn to love it. And I would encourage you to learn to love it if you can.